Hello everyone, my name is Greg and I dev stuff. Welcome to episode 25 of Action RPG game in Unity. In this episode we want to introduce an ability to open and close inventory and other panels. As you might remember, we used to have that, but because we migrated to a new input system, it doesn't work anymore. So add new input actions for inventory, stats and quest. So add a new input actions for inventory, stats and quest panel open. We want to assign the opening and closing of the panel to those callbacks, so we have UI panel manager attached to the game manager, which is responsible for managing and opening and closing the panels on the screen. So naturally the methods to open and close panels are in this manager. We should be able to reference the open methods from UI panel manager. And it should work. But we have an issue. You see the UI elements of health and mana overlap the inventory and other panels. Don't stress it too much, let's just move and resize panels a little. This is placeholders anyway, and we will be updating UI later. Now we have an issue. With inventory panel, it still uses legacy input system. In the update, let's comment out the testing part of the code. We don't need it anymore. So inside the process mouse input, we have multiple inputs to process. So let's get rid of the legacy input code from inventory controller by reading our mouse input component for the mouse position. Add reference to mouse input and variable to store current position of mouse on the screen. In the update, call and create a new method called processMousePosition. Inside gets the position of the mouse from mouse input. Then inside processMouseInput, Use local mouse positions instead of legacy input system. Now we need to redo the mouse button input. Create new public process left mouse button press method. Move all the relevant parts, which use legacy code, into this method. Inside, remove the input. And it actually should work as this, because if no item grid or item slot is selected, throw away item. If item grid is selected, process the input on the grid. If the item slot is selected, process input on this slot. Now we need to update input in the get tile grid position. Again, we are simply eradicating use of legacy input system. Set the references. Set the callback. Okay, our inventory is back in action. Everything seems working. But we have this warning over here. Let's see if we can fix it from occurring. So it complains that we are checking event from the inside of the input handling. Just simply extracting it from the input method should be more than enough to fix it. So let's just make a local variable and in the update check if we are over the game object. Good, it works. Please consider supporting me on Patreon. You will get cool perks like being featured like those cool people you can see right now on your screen, or access to project files on Patreon. Now we need to add actions for each button. So ability will be using 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6, and potions will be using Q, V, E, R, T. Make sure it keys and not some weird joystick inputs. Never forget to save the asset. Now we need to set the callbacks on our input. Again, nothing complicated, just reference an ability panel, and then we should be able to call an ability or a potion. Pass the ID based on the number of input. Good. If we tested, our quest panel overlap with Q on potion calls. So let's change it to be J as journal. With this done, everything seems good. Good, this is it for this episode. Special thank you to this old Hashdu for his generous support. With best regards, see you in the next episode.